Hello, YouTube subscribers, and hello, Facebook. This is your Michigan fan, Harry Bryant, back again with a post-game video. The game concluded between Michigan and Wisconsin. My thoughts, especially during the earlier part of the game, is that the offense was going real slow, and I mean slow. I mean they had a very slow start. Couple miscues on the offense, and so practically things was at a slow pace for the offense. It took them a while for them to get back into their rhythm. I don't know if it's due to the bye week that they had, but yeah, it just seemed like it took a while for the offense to get things going. So like I said, a bunch of miscues, from the offense. Defense really did their part today. I mean, if you took a look at most of the game, it was basically, defense versus defense. It was a defensive battle. But luckily, Michigan, their offense finally picked things up, going, after the second half. That's when the offense, started to wake up and started to get some things going. Particularly on our offense, our running backs. They practically won the game for Michigan. So let me go with the statistics as far as our running backs. Justice Hayes, 19 carries, 2 touchdowns, total 117 yards on the ground. Jordan Marshall, 9 carries, total 44 yards. And Bryce, he ran a few times with the ball. He ran for 5 carries, 12 yards. But normally, quarterbacks don't get that many yards on the ground because he's a quarterback, and his job is to either hand the ball off, or to toss the ball down the field. So anyway, so basically that's our running backs. And Justice Hayes gets the blue star of this game today because 2 touchdowns, 117 yards total on the ground. Justice Hayes showed that he is a premier running back. And I'm so glad that Michigan got him Tony Alford. I'm so glad that they pulled Justice Hayes from Alabama and have him to commit to Michigan through the transfer portal. So thank goodness for that. So in the air, Bryce Underwood, a total of 28 attempts, 19 completions, a total of 270 yards in the air. He threw for 1 touchdown, and I think he threw that touchdown to Donovan McCulley. Donovan McCulley, 6 receptions, a total of 112 yards and 1 touchdown, and his longest reception is 33 yards. Andrew Marsh, 4 receptions, a total of 80 yards. Samaj Morgan, 5 receptions and 44 yards. So our running backs did drop some balls today. I ain't gonna sit there and lie. They dropped some balls today. And I was kind of getting a little frustrated because they had all the bye week to clean that up, to work on their time, to work on their coordination. And it seemed like that when game time came, it just seemed like they just couldn't catch the ball. I don't know if it's because of Bryce was throwing hot lasers, or it was just because their hands was cold and they just couldn't catch the ball. But some of those balls was there for them to catch. And unfortunately, they just couldn't catch the ball. They just couldn't hold on to the ball. So yeah, miscues from our wide receivers and our special teams. Botched snaps. Happened twice. The first time, Zavala missed the kick, and the second time it was botched. Luckily, he made it in, but it was twice that the snapper missnapped the ball, and luckily it didn't come down to a field goal. But if it did, and that snapper botched the ball, Michigan would have been in trouble, and I think that would have been a loss for Michigan. But luckily, it didn't come down to the kicker. So it's some things that our special teams and particularly our wide receivers they have to really clean up. And the schedule is not going to get any easier for Michigan, going down the road, because Michigan still got to play USC. They still got to play Michigan State on the road. And, of course, the big showdown at the end of the year. So Michigan got to clean up some of these mistakes, miscues. They got to clean all this stuff up. And, now one positive thing I could take away from today's game is the fact that Bryce Underwood is looking more confident with his throws, his reads. He looking more comfortable scanning the field, picking his target, and dissecting the field, picking off the defense with his eye motion. I'm looking at Bryce Underwood, and he is definitely, improving, and I can see it. And I'm just thinking that even if Michigan does not make the playoffs this year, next year, under Bryce, and hopefully Andrew Marsh, McCauley, hopefully they can create this rhythm between the quarterback and themselves, and they know exactly what Underwood is thinking, and bam, they just connect. And if they could connect, watch out. If not next year, the year after that, Michigan will be playing for a national championship, folks. They will be playing for a national championship. And, man, I'm impressed with Bryce Underwood. I'm very impressed. Now, could you imagine if he had some wide receivers, some real wide receivers that he could throw to? It doesn't matter if he, if he underthrows or overthrows, but those wide receivers will find a way to catch the ball. Can you imagine they have some quarterback? Some wide receiver? Man, it wouldn't even be a close game. It wouldn't be a close game. And then we got our premier running backs in Justice Hayes and Jordan Marshall. Man, our offense will be way better than what it was last year. And our defense, kudos. Because today was a defensive battle. Wisconsin, they had a very good defensive line, because it seemed like when Michigan tried to run the ball, they probably only able to, get probably 3 yards, 4 yards. Now, it's a few times that Michigan had a chance to gain 6 yards, 7 yards on the ground, but wow, that Wisconsin defense, they really good. They really good. And Michigan had a test, against Wisconsin. But everybody knew that Wisconsin wasn't going to beat Michigan. Because before the game, practically everybody picked Michigan to beat Wisconsin. Even the odds makers had Michigan at, I forgot how many points. But anyway, so good job by Michigan. It was not a pretty game. Even though Michigan won, it was not a finesse game. It was more like a defensive game. It was more physical than anything else. And sometimes you want to watch games like that, the physicality. So, but yeah, congratulations to Michigan, man. They did a good job. And congratulations to Coach Sharon Moore coming back after serving his 2-game suspension. And he had his team ready. And they came out and he performed. They performed, and luckily they got the W. So now Michigan is sitting on 4-1 for the year. And so, wow, I'm pretty excited about this team. Now, let me say it again. I got my expectations kind of like here. Not here, but kind of here. Because if Michigan does it and beats the last team of the year, make it to the Big Ten title game, and make the playoffs, they exceed my expectations. Because right now, my expectations is kind of like in the middle. I'm not expecting too much from them, but at the same time, I'm not too down on them. Because, Bryce, his first year as the QB, as QB1, and he's looking this good, I got hope for Michigan. I got hope. Especially going into next season, and particularly the season after, where Michigan should be the favorites to win the Natty. But I'll pump the brakes. I'll pump my expectations. Because remember, Bryce Underwood is only a freshman, but he's looking good, man. And I'm pretty excited for what he can do. And now offensive line, yeah, they need to keep Bryce Underwood clean. They need to keep that man upright. So our offensive line, they got some work to do. Hopefully we get El Hadi back soon, so that our offensive line can be back at least to where we need to be going towards the stretch, toward the end of the season. So hopefully we can get some of our starters back, especially before the last game of the year. That's when we need all hands on deck. And so all I gotta say is for today, man. I mean, it was a good game. I mean, the offense, like I said, they had a slow start, but coming off a bye week, that's expected. The offense finally woke up during the second half of the game. They did everything they needed to do to win to secure the W, and that's exactly what they did. So congratulations to Michigan on their win today. And so now I'm looking forward to next week. And now I'm waiting to see the Tigers versus the Mariners. So I can be rooting on the Detroit Tigers to do their thing, hopefully secure the W on the road, and so that way they can eventually play some few games at home in Detroit. And so until then, I'm gonna end the video. Thank y'all for watching the video, and like, subscribe. It will help me grow, and I truly appreciate everything y'all do, and thank y'all for y'all continued support. And until then, this is Harry Bryant. Peace. Go Blue. See you next time.